Hi everybody, it's Geordie from Geordie's Cards here for Pawsome Stamps today, and I'm really pushing myself out of my comfort zone a little bit today to create this more masculine thank you card. So I have the Coffee Besties stamp set here. I'm going to be using that little takeaway coffee cup there in the right hand bottom corner. I'm also using the Sending Hugs stamp set. This is gorgeous. I'm just using some of the sentiments from it today. They're so pretty. And finally, the Coffee Drinks stencil, because of course I'm making a coffee themed thank you card. I need that stencil there. So I've left my colouring in today, which I don't always do, but I thought this is pretty quick and easy. And I'm colouring both of my coffee mugs the same way. So I'm just going to show you one here. I'm starting out with a G28, laying in my darkest colour, then I'll move to G17 and finally G09. I really liked this combination. It's a little bit brighter than if you just use the G20 markers. It's got a little bit more of a kind of emeraldy kind of green colour in there, and I really liked the look of it. So I thought this colour combination was quite cool. Once my kind of main kind of green coffee cup area is done, I will move on to the lid of my coffee cup, which I'm using warm greys for, so W3, W1 and W0. And finally, for the kind of corrugated card holder, I'm using E44 and E43. So I really love this stamp set, this Coffee Besties stamp set. It's got a bunch of different coffee mugs. It's got a couple with a little dog and a little cat kind of hanging out of the coffee mug, which I thought was really, really cute. But I don't drink coffee, which I know is really, really odd. I know most people do. I've never drunk coffee. I don't know why. I've got nothing against it. I don't like the taste of it. But I know most people drink coffee, and I reach for the stamp set over and over again to create particularly coffee themed thank you cards, because they work for just about everything. Perfect for an end of year teacher card, perfect for what I'm going to be using it for, which is for my children's coaches. They are going to get a thank you card. And I just thought that, coffee works for everything. And you can slip a little coffee gift card in there for your favorite coffee shop. And I'm sure that would make an excellent thank you card and thank you present. So that was the idea behind this today. And that was the reason why I pulled the stamp set out. I have used this over and over again. It was really worth getting. I'm so glad I've got the stamp set. Like I say, lots of fun images in there. Really works well for Christmas as well, because it's got these cute little almost like hot chocolate kind of mugs with the whipped cream on the top. So perfect for Christmas cards too, if you're that way inclined and you're thinking about Christmas already. Sorry to bring that up. I know it's quite early yet. I haven't done any Christmas crafting this year so far. I was really good last year, and I did a little bit every month and kind of kept on top of it. This year I've kind of slackened off a bit and haven't done any. But yeah, we're in April. Can you believe we're nearly in May already? This year is going so fast. Okay, so I finished my colouring. I'm just finishing things off with a little bit of white gel pen here, just adding some highlight details to different areas of my coffee mug. I don't really have any rhyme or reason to how I do this or where I put my kind of shine marks, if you like. I just kind of go wherever the mood takes me and think, whatever looks good. Doesn't always turn out perfectly, but most of the time it works quite nicely. And I think it just adds that little bit of dimension, doesn't it? Okay, so now that they are done, I've cut them out, and I'm going ahead with this piece of Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock, which I've cut down using a stitched rectangle. And I am just popping my coffee mugs there for placement at the moment. I haven't stuck them down, and I'm pulling out this kind of low tack tape, which I'm going to use. I'm just making sure that my panel is lined up nice and straight so I can get this piece on straight. It wasn't, so I've moved it slightly. And I'm just going to use this piece of tape to create a kind of grounding for where I'm going to put my distress ink. So I have, of course, ground espresso distress ink, because we're making a coffee themed card. It seemed pretty obvious. I'm pulling out my blender brush and just going in very, very lightly onto the top part of my card panel here. Now I'm trying to make a little bit of a gradient, so darker towards the bottom and lighter at the top. And as I say, just going very light-handed with that. Now I'm going to pull out my stencil and I'm going to kind of figure out where I want to line it up and which words I want to be able to see. And I'm going to place that down with my magnets, and then bringing that ink back in again. I'm just going to go slightly darker, but again, I'm going to try and keep that gradient. So darker at the bottom and a little bit lighter up towards the top, and just going very light-handed towards the top there. So I don't want it overly dark, but just a little bit. I'm going to lift my stencil here, we get the big reveal, and that's exactly what I was going for, so I'm really happy with how that turned out. So I've put my panel into my stamp positioner and I'm pulling out that Sending Hugs stamp set. This one has the most gorgeous phrases and sentiments, just perfect for any card. And I find myself reaching for this stamp set over and over again as well, just for these gorgeous sentiments. So I've chosen the one that says, thanks so much, and then there's a smaller one that says, for all you do, and I'm just stacking them up one on top of the other, and I'm going to stamp them down with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I did go ahead and stamp them twice. This is the first time that I've used this sentiment, so I just wanted to make sure it was nice and crisp, and a couple of stamps was perfect for that. So here are my coffee mugs. I've brought them back out again. I'm going to attach some double-sided foam squares onto the back of them. I just wanted to add a little bit of dimension to this card. It is very clean and simple, so just that little bit of dimension just kind of makes it a little bit more interesting, I suppose. So I'm just using 5 little foam squares on the back, 2 at each end and then 1 in the middle, and I'm going to peel all the backing paper off. Now I had the good idea of trying to place these down at the same time, and it didn't work. I don't know why. I couldn't get it right. I couldn't get them in the right spot, and I was I kept moving my cardstock piece, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to lay one down and then I'll lay the other one down on top, and it wasn't perfect, but I think it was okay. It worked for me. So now I have a piece of pattern paper here. It's this kind of black and white buffalo check, and I'm going to attach my card panel down on top of that, just trying to keep it nice and even. Again, I want to make sure that my card panel is centered in there. I think the key with clean and simple cards is to try and get all the little details exactly perfect so that they just look right. I think you can get away with a bit more on a busier card, but when you've got a clean and simple card, you want everything to kind of just look just right. I don't always get it just right, but close enough. So now I'm just attaching that down onto a card base. This is a 5.5 by 4.25 inch card base, and it's a top folding one. I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside. I just left it blank today. And that is it. My masculine thank you card is all done, and I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe to the Pawsome Stamps channel. We would love to see you come back again. And thank you so much for joining me today. Take care.